Tensura was announced that it was coming back to Grand Summoners JP and eventually Grand Summoners Global, but with it returning, they were going to be adding 3 new Ascended characters, that being Demon Lord Rimuru, Battle Mode Malim, and Diablo. At the time, we didn't know what these characters did, but here we are today, and we finally know what every single kit does from Tensura, apart from the new Dream Evolution kits. So you already know, your boy has to check these out. And from what I glanced over already, they seem pretty strong. So let's talk about the man himself first, Demon Lord Rimuru. Now, of course, there's no gameplay or anything for these guys, so sorry if you guys are just seeing the animations play in the background the whole time, or just a random piece of gameplay. But Demon Lord Rimuru is a dark demon character. He's going to be having a 6-star magic, a 5-star support, a 5-star heal, or a 5-star physical. His skill increases his own stats by 20%, his art increases his own crit rate by 100%, and the next time this unit uses their super art, you increase your own arts by 150. His true art gives damage res 70% down the enemy, stackable by the way, you see that? The super art buffs up your super crit rate by 40% during your super art, and for 30 seconds, you increase all allies' dark damage by 120%. He has his unique ability, which is the Lord of Wisdom. This increases your art gauge by 5 when your HP is 50% or more, but when your HP is 50% or less, you get 30% damage res to the entire team. That's insanely good. He also has increased own paralysis res by 100% and increased own burn res by 100% as well. So, you know, Demon Lord Rimuru off the bat, man, kind of looking a little good. He's actually completely different than what I thought he was going to be. I really thought he was going to be more of a supporting character right out the gate. She kind of still is, but he's kind of like more of this damage dealing character more so than anything. You get the dark damage buff instantaneously with the super art, right, for the whole team. That's 120%. You can then loop back into your art if you want to, or you can pretty much go right into your true art because you're going to be getting 150 art gauge if you used your art prior to using your super art. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening here with Demon Lord Rimuru. He's actually really strong. The worst part about this kit is that he doesn't really have a huge burst arch gen skill, and he only has the 5 arts per second in his passive. But even with that being said, he has the support slot, he has the magic slot. He's going to be able to get tons of art gauge right out the gate and hit the ground running. So for me, Demon Lord Rimuru looking like a dub. Next is going to be Battle Mode Malim. She has a really stupid thing. Y'all thought Saitama was dumb? Wait till you see this. So Battle Mode Malim has a 6-star physical, a 5-star magic, 4-star magic, or a 4-star defense. Her skill is able to reduce the enemy's damage res by 10%. Her art is able to heal her own stats elements, except for faint, paralysis, seal, and freeze. And then for 20 seconds, you increase all allies' paralysis and freeze resist by 100%. The true art doesn't really do much in terms of damage, but each time this true art is used, you increase your break power of this true art by 3,000, maxing out at 15,000. When the super art is used, you reset the break power of this art back to 3,000. And then the super art, each time your super art is used, you increase the damage multiplier by an additional 170,000%. Max 510,000%. When arch or true art is used, reset the damage multiplier of this super art back to 170,000. Her abilities, Tyrant of Destruction. When not affected by a status element, you increase your own damage and break power by 50%. She also increases her own art gauge by 1 per second, and you increase your own arts by 200 at the start of the quest. I really like how this character is a stacking unit, but she's stacking in different ways. So you can opt in to just be this hardcore breaker if you need it, right, with the true art. And then if you wanted to instantly switch to using your super art to get crazy amounts of damage, you can just use your super art to do that. Or if you just want to go into whatever fight you're doing and just instantly start going off with your super art, you can do it. And the fact that this character's multiplier goes up to 500%. Who thought that was a good thing? 500,000%. That's 500,000. 500,000% on a super art. You give this character crit rate, right? Or defense ignore, and you are hitting stupidly hard. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, the bad part is that it's gonna reset though if you use any other part of the kit, but to me, I think that's a perfectly fine way to do it. I think that's a perfectly fine way to balance it, and it gives you choices when it comes to using this character. Because imagine if it wasn't like that, right? So you could just use your true art, max out at 15k break on the true art, use your super art, max out the 510,000 multiplier. Like any type of hard content in this game would just get absolutely obliterated, especially if you had to break it and then burst it down. Yeah, Battle Mode Malim is going to be the best for that. The worst part about her is that she doesn't have any type of built-in like crit rate or defense ignore or anything, so you have to provide that to her. And the fact too that her self-arch gen is not that great either. Like, you're gonna need some other characters to help out with that, which I think I already know who can help. Diablo. Diablo is going to be having a 6-star physical, a 5-star defense, a 4-star support, or a 4-star defense. Your skill is able to buff up your own arc gauge by 40. Your art is able to buff up all allies' defense equipped CT recoveries by 30% and reduce the enemy's attack by 30%. Your true art reduces the enemy's evasion by 40% and physical res by 80%. The super art has a 100% chance to inflict blind, and you also reduce the enemy's dark res by 120% for 30 seconds. But get this, he has a passive known as Seducer. When your own HP is 90% or more, you increase the arts of the units to the left and right of Diablo by 6 per second. You also increase your own blind res by 100%, and you increase damage to blind enemies by 80%. So since Diablo has a constant 6 arts per second to the units left and right of him, unfortunately one of the units in the party will not be able to get the 6 arts per second, which I don't think is that bad. That could just be like another arch gener or something, right? But you give that 6 arts per second to the characters that really need it, that are going to be really struggling on art gauge. You also maybe have someone on the team that is going to be giving even more arts, right? Maybe you're rocking like a Haruto or a War God Finn or whoever on the team, then you're going to be having tons and tons of arch generation passively, actively, and it's just going to be a great time with Diablo. Diablo's kit on its own, I know, doesn't sound that appealing, but I think it's a very unique kit that actually has a lot of usability. The fact that you're able to make everyone's defense equips faster is extremely good, especially because he has one too. So in harder content, if you're using him with tanks and stuff, then you're going to be able to get your defense equips up very quickly. Also, mind you as well, let's say you're using Star God Lisa, or you're using regular Lisa, or anybody else that applies an equipment CT buff, it will actually be able to stack with the defense equip CT buff because they're two separate instances, and defense equip is only buffing up one type of equip CT, right? So whenever that happens, your defense equips are now zooming. You're always going to be able to have some type of damage mitigation up at any given point in time. Not to mention too, the enemy evasion rate down is a little bit niche, but could be useful in certain situations. And the 120% dark res as well with the super art, looking really nice for any character that is a dark demon, which, mind you, Demon Lord Rimuru will be best friends with a character like Diablo because the dark resist down. Demon Lord Rimuru is buffing up dark damage. Oh wait, you have Demon King Vox? Well, what happens there? We're having so much passive arch gen to the entire team. We're having a crazy demon lineup, and you're just going to be able to destroy whatever's in front of you. So it seems like the demon teams got massively buffed with Tensura, which I'm actually extremely pleased with. I'm glad that Tensura was the ones to kind of like push this agenda for the demon units. I also like too how these characters aren't exclusively just great in demon teams. These are all characters that are going to be good in multitude of teams, but the team that really need it, which was of course Demon King Vox's team, is going to greatly appreciate these new characters. So if I had to rate them all, you know, depending on how I like them, how I don't, I'm going to tell you right now, Tensura coming back like this, S tier in terms of a rerun. I really like what they did with the Ascended characters, and I cannot wait to see what the Dream Evolutions do. I really hope it shakes it up and makes the older characters like really strong. But hey man, only thing I'm gonna say is you already know when this character comes out, your boy has got to get Demon Lord Rimuru. I gotta get Demon Lord Rimuru, and I really want Diablo. Tell me down below what you guys think about Demon Lord Rimuru and everybody else. Do you guys like them? You guys don't? Let me know all that type of stuff down below in the comment section. Also, if you enjoy this video, highly recommend check out either one of the videos popping on the screen right now. Great content, guarantee you love them. Oh, and one more thing before you leave, don't forget to drink water.